The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Sidney Rural Fire Department, on your new fire apparatus, job number 33397. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new vehicle. Let's start just under the front bumper. You'll find 2 open-ended tow hooks attached to the frame rail. Moving up onto the bumper face on the passenger side, you'll find your air horn. Moving to the driver's side, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker system. Let's move from this location up onto the top, where you'll find your tubbed storage location for your front bumper hose. There are also Velcro straps. Moving to the bumper extension, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. Just up onto the body, you'll find the headlight structure housing a low and high beam headlight and also a turn indicator. Located in the grille, just above the Pierce logo, is where you'll find your 2 forward-facing emergency lights. Moving to the right-hand side, just over the front wheel, is where you'll find your turn indicator. And then moving up onto the top, you'll find your air intake. You'll also find a grab handle for tilting your hood. Let's take a look at some of the close-ups. Here are those tow hooks down at the very bottom, and also the Code 3 siren. Moving to the center, you'll find your swivel discharge front bumper load. Moving from the side on the bumper extension, you'll find your side-facing emergency warning light. Your headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights, in addition with a turn indicator. To the front grille, housing your emergency warning lights, and then also at the very top is the grab handle for tilting the hood. On the side, you'll find an air intake. On the side, passenger and driver's side, you'll find the release mechanisms for that hood. Down at the lower section in your wheel, you'll find Michelin tires, Alcoa wheels, and also a visual indicator for the hub oil. Down in the lower corner in this image, you'll find your auto eject plug, and then also an auto eject air inlet. Moving up from that location, you'll find the silver diesel fuel, ultra low sulfur. And then to the right, the blue cap is your DEF fill location. Let's move up onto the front. Just under the front door is where you'll find, when plugged into shore power, your battery charging system will indicate. Here's a close-up of those images. This is your shoreline auto eject and also your air inlet. Fill locations for diesel, silver, DEF, blue. Moving up to the top, you'll find your auto charge system. This will activate when plugged in to shore power. Let's move now to the inside of the cab door. Affixed to the door panel, you'll find all of your warning labels. As we move just inside that location, the arrow is indicating to where your battery system is. We'll go over that in just a moment. We'll also cover your manufactured by Pierce placard. And then also on the seat itself, you have comfort controls. Moving down in the lower section, this is your master battery switch just beneath the yellow placard. As we move now to the seat, you'll find forward and rear seat adjustments and also an air ride seat. To the placard itself, you'll find your minimum operation schedule here. This is where you're going to find the date of manufacture, job number, all of your cold tire inflation, in addition with gross vehicle weight ratings, and also fluid capacities and fluid types. Let's move from this location now to the start switch. You do have a keyed ignition and also a green indicator located about the left knee of the operator. We also have a placard here regarding your height, 10 feet 2 inches, length 32 feet, and a gross vehicle weight rating of 44,600 pounds. At the very top, you're going to find a set of switches. This is your speed control. You also have set, excel, and coast, and also your headlights, and also an increase or decrease switch. Let's move from this location and go just inside, looking down at the dash cluster. Let's first start on the left-hand side of the dash cluster, where you're going to find on the lower left your transmission. Moving up from that location, you'll find water temperature,
and then oil pressure. Moving on the right hand side, you'll find your fuel locations for DEF and diesel fuel, and also front and rear air. In the center, speedometer and tachometer, diagnostic information above and below the speedometer. This is your filter minder for your air filter. Just beneath that, you'll find the Allison transmission pad. It's a push button transmission pad. Just to the right hand side, you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions from going from road to pump and from pump to road. Just a reminder, for exiting, you'll need 2 green indicators when exiting the cab for pump operations. Located in the center, you'll find your pull to apply your system parking brake or push to release. As we move to the right, you're going to find all of your dash components located in this area. Starting from left to right, you're going to find your regen switch, mirror heat, differential lock, high idle switch, an indicator for your OK to pump, a load manager, low voltage, and also a door open. As we move down to the very bottom, you'll find all of your lighting switches from your driver's side and passenger side flood, your rear floodlights, tire chains, and then also a seatbelt information sign. Red indicating someone is in the seat and they are not belted. Green indicating that they are in the seat and belted. Let's go ahead and move downward from this location. On the dash area, where you'll find your climate control. You'll also find on the left-hand side and right-hand side locations for water bottles. You also have in the center console a map book storage location. As we look overhead, you'll find push on and off white lights, and also you'll find in the very center a caution, do not move your apparatus when this light is on, indicating that you have a compartment or door open. As we move to the master switches, you'll find emergency master on the left. Moving to the right, you'll find the roof light, front warning light, side warning, lower rear warning, and upper rear warning. Just to the right of this location, you'll find the lanyard for your air horn. Moving further to the right, you'll find your Code 3 module. This controls your siren head. It also has the ability for your PA speaker system. Let's move down to the door panel. Once again, affixed to all door panels, you'll find additional safety and warning labels, in addition with slip hazard. As we move now from this location inside to the rear section, you'll find seats located in the very rear. There are 3 seats across the back, forward facing. Let's go ahead and cover some of the items within your pump panel. Let's first start at the lower section of your pump panel. Your pump panel is fully enclosed. That is the lower section is where you'll find the release to gain access from underneath. Also, as we move just inside of this location, you'll find foam drain locations and also your perimeter lighting. Let's move up from this location where you'll find 2 2.5-inch discharges. They are clearly color-coded and labeled. We also have a warning label here regarding pressure hazard. Be cautious when opening caps, they may be under pressure. Moving to the right, you'll find a warning label here regarding do not mix different brands, consistencies, or types of foam for the possibility of a foam failure. You'll also find your auxiliary foam fill operations on the right. The American flag Pierce Eagle logo is your large diameter pump intake. And just as a reminder, we have a warning label here that only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment only after they received proper training. To the right hand side, you'll find your master pump drain, and then as we move lower, you'll find the manual pump shift. Moving down to the lower left hand side, you'll find an informational placard. Moving down to the very bottom, you'll find an additional placard from Watrous. This indicates the type of pump that you have and also your pump's capacity. Moving to the right, you'll find your auxiliary inlet. And then as we move down to the right-hand side, you'll find all of your color-coded discharge drains, and they are also labeled. As we move to the very far right-hand side, you'll find access panel. You'll also find an additional access panel in the upper portion. Moving up to the crosslays, we'll find the number 1 and number 2 crosslay, and then to the rear, you'll find an additional dead load. Let's move from this location now to the pass-through area, where you'll find on the passenger and driver side additional compartments. You also have lighting within this walking space. We'll now go ahead and start with the pump panel itself. Let's start on the driver's side and we'll work across all the way to the passenger side. First, let's start with a few items. Driver's side auxiliary inlet. This is the lower section for filling. You also have the number 1 and number 3 discharges. They are color-coded and labeled. We also have a warning label here regarding fall hazard and never ride on a vehicle while it's in motion. As we move to the left, we're going to find your tank fill and recirculating line. You also have an LED water level indicator indicating the amount of water in your tank. Moving just to the left, you'll find your tank to pump. As we move further to the left, we're going to find priming instructions at the very top for your air prime system. As we move further down, you'll find your engine cooler. This is a twist, not a pull. Let's move further to the left in this panel area. You'll find your front discharge. You'll also find on the left-hand side your Husky 12 foam system and also your Pierce placard regarding your minimum operation maintenance schedule. Your vehicle is equipped with a Husky 12 foam system. There are the instructions at the very top and also the foam system specifications on a placard located within this area. Moving just to the left, you're going to find your cross lays, first number 1 and number 2, and then also the number 2 passenger side discharge. All the way to the far left, you'll find your large diameter passenger side discharge in green. As we move to the Husky 12 system, you're going to find your control module on the left-hand side. As we move to the right-hand side, you'll find your foam systems for foam A and also for foam B. Let's move now to your pressure throttle governor. First, starting at the very top, if illuminated, it would be in yellow, is a check engine light. In the center, you'll find a digital readout for your RPMs. And to the right, you'll find, if illuminated, it would be red, a stop engine light. Moving to the left, you'll find the orange menu button, allowing you to scroll through the various menu functions. As we move to the center, you'll find diagnostic engine information. As we move to the right, you'll find a red silence button, allowing you to silence the audible alarm. Moving down to the left, you'll find 2 blue buttons, pressure and RPM. Pressure mode and also throttle mode. Those are your 2 options with a digital readout in the center area. Moving to the right, you'll find an indicator that your throttle is ready to be engaged. And then also, if you choose, you can use the green preset button, allowing you to preset pressure or RPM. Down in the lower section, you'll find your throttle, right to increase, left to decrease, or push simply in the center for idle. To the right is the audible alarm. The outer edge of that bezel does allow you to dampen the sound. As we move to the left, we're going to find your master intake gauge and also master discharge gauge. Moving down, you'll find panel lights, pump engaged indicator, driver's side, passenger side flood, and also pump compartment heater. To the very far right, you'll find a gauge heater. This is going to be either on or off. As we move to the right and left-hand side of the vehicle, you'll find additional floodlights located on the side. Let's move from this location to the top area where you'll find your dunnage light. This is a worked light located in the very top. Let's move now to the side of the apparatus where you'll find your fold-down steps to gain access to go aloft. As we move through this set of images, let's move to the body itself and we'll cover those things next. Starting on the body itself, just above the rear wheels is where you'll find your SCBA bottle storage location and also fill locations. Located in the center, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. There are 3 compartments within this area. At the very top, you'll find your 360-degree emergency warning lights. At the very bottom, you'll find your wheel chock storage for your folding wheel chocks. Let's go over those items. First, starting in the very first compartment, you'll find your battery charger and also your panel for your breaker circuitry. In the upper left, this is going to be your auto charge system for your batteries. As we move to the right, you'll find your breaker panel. It also has a placard indicating the type of panel it is. As we move just in front of the rear wheel, you'll find SCBA bottle storage and also retraining straps. Over the rear axle, you'll find emergency warning light side facing. As we move to the rear axle, you'll find Michelin tires Alcoa wheels. And then as we move up from this location, you'll find a center compartment with LED lighting and also a pull strap. Moving just to the rear of the rear axle, you'll find 2 SCBA bottle storage locations with retaining straps. Just beneath that, you'll find a generator outlet. Let's move now further to the rear section of the apparatus where you'll find a double door housing adjustable shelves, and also LED lighting. As we move to the rear of the apparatus, we'll find your emergency light, brake, turn, and backup light. Moving up from that location, we'll find 2 rear switched locations for turning on your lights in the rear for scene lights and also for your hose bed lights. Moving up to the very top, you'll find a 2.5-inch discharge. Located directly in the center, you'll find a center-mounted rear-facing flood. As we move to the very top, you have 2 work lights located on the passenger and driver's side. Let's move just under the vehicle where you'll find your side, right and left-sided perimeter lighting. Located directly in the center, you'll find an attachment tow hook. And then just underneath, you'll find your passenger and driver's side tire chains. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those images just relatively quick. First, the cluster housing the brake, turn, emergency, and reverse lights. We'll also look to the very top for your work light and also emergency warning light. Let's move back down lower section here to the folding steps. This is going to be on the driver's side. As we move further up, you'll find additional steps on the left-hand side and also your discharge in the upper right-hand corner of the image. Located directly in the center, a rear-facing floodlight. As we move down from this location, we're going to find your compartment open now. In the center, you find a pull-out tray and adjustable shelf in the very middle. On the right-hand side, we're going to find a fold-down step also. And as we move further up, you'll find additional steps on the left-hand side to gain access to go aloft. Moving now just to the right, you'll find your ladder storage. There's a 24-foot extension ladder, a 14 roof, a 10-foot attic ladder, and then also long tool storage. On the right-hand side, once again, emergency, brake, turn, and reverse lights. As we now are up into the dunnage area, let's first start in the upper left with your water tank fill location. Moving just to the right of this location, you're going to find 2 fill locations labeled A and B. These are your foam fill locations for top fill. You'll also find warning labels attached to each of those tanks regarding foam hazard failure. On the far right-hand side, this is going to be your Husky 12 hydraulic reservoir. There is a sight gauge located on the actual reservoir itself. And then at the lower section, there is a red lever allowing it to shut off that fill location. Located in the center, you'll find your generator. As we move through this process, we'll identify a few more things within your truck. Let's start first now with the passenger side of the vehicle. Starting once again up at the top, it pretty closely mirrors the driver's side, but we have a work light and also an emergency warning light, 2 adjustable shelves in this area, LED lighting, and ventilation. As we move underneath, a little bit better picture of the tire chains here. And then as we move forward to this location, you'll find a generator outlet, and then also 2 pan style doors, one in front of and rear of the rear axle. These are going to house your SCBA bottle storage with retaining straps. As we move to the rear axle, you'll find Michelin tires and once again Alcoa wheels. Moving up from this location, a side-facing emergency warning light directly over the rear axle. As we go to the next compartment, you'll find your tool board. The D handle allows you to gain access in opening that tool board. On the right-hand side, there also is a latch mechanism which allows it to lock into place. And then also overhead, you have retaining pull strap. This is the locking mechanism that I was referring to earlier. Your vehicle has exhaust on this side. There is a warning label here, extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures. Be cautious where you park your vehicle. Just up from that location to the clearance light is where you'll find additional SCBA bottle storage location with 2 retaining straps. Moving forward to this location, this is the forwardmost compartment. You'll find 2 adjustable shelves and also LED lighting. Just underneath the vehicle, you'll find your diesel exhaust with a shield and also your pump panel, which once again is fully enclosed. Let's move now to the pump panel on the passenger side. You'll find an additional access door located at the very top. As we move further down, you'll find a 2.5-inch discharge. Just underneath that discharge, you'll find your large diameter discharge. We also have a warning label here on the side of the apparatus regarding pressure hazard. Be cautious when opening caps that may be under pressure. Also moving down to the lower section, you'll find your large diameter pump intake. There are also 2 panel doors located here, and then just beneath that, you'll also find your water strainer. Down at the very bottom, you'll find all of your color-coded labeled discharge drains. We'll go ahead and take a look at some close-ups of the items. Once again, this is your access panel at the very top. Moving downward from this location, you'll find access pen on the left-hand side, large diameter discharge, pump intake. Moving at the very top section, you'll find number 1 and number 2 crosslay, and then also a dead load. Moving now to the front section, we're highlighting the grab handles on the passenger side. They're also on the driver's side. Moving now to the mid section, this is your walk-through or pass-through area. There's also storage within that section also. Just a quick view here, the chassis of your vehicle. As we look underneath the vehicle, you'll find perimeter lighting in the doorway areas. Let's go ahead and move inside the cab of your vehicle. First, starting on the passenger side rear, you can find the 3 seats across the very back, and then also you'll find that they do have SCBA storage inside those seating areas. Let's move down to the front section where you're going to find, in this indication, your vehicle data recorder. This is a discharge port for that. And then you'll also find 2 audible alarms. The lower section alarm does have the ability to have that sound dampened. As we move to the top section, you'll find a red flashing LED light indicating do not move your truck because you may have a compartment or door ajar. We're just highlighting the straps here regarding the hood system, which we talked about earlier. Also your Michelin front tires, out-coil wheels, and also a hub sight gauge for oil. Once again, your headlight structure housing a low and high beam headlights and also a turn indicator. And then at your bumper extension, a side-facing emergency warning light. Congratulations, Sidney Rural Fire Department in Montana, on your new fire apparatus, job number 33397. If you have any questions regarding your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.